Going through a divorce is a life-changing situation, but it doesn't have to be life-shattering. Susan DeRobertis built a new life after 16 years of marriage ended. She created Venus in Transit to provide support and guidance for other women. And divorce coach Susan DeRobertis says, well, she's here to talk about her journey, and it's probably not as awful in the end as many would think. So let's talk about what inspired your journey here.
What inspired me was the fact that I got divorced myself, and was really a change in lifestyle, a change in what I thought the life that I would have. And it was a very difficult transition, and out of my own pain and out of my own desire to have a better life, I became a divorce coach because I saw that there were so many women out there without direction after divorce, and there was a lot of emotional suffering.
So it was your desire for that better life, and which you thought would be the case when you were married, and so you had to make a change in your plan, in your life plan.
Oh yeah.
So how difficult was that? Because I think other women would want to know that you came out in the end and you made it. How hard was that for you?
Okay, it is work. Yeah, it's work. It's hard, but it depends on your desire. You know, desire is really all. If you want a great life, you will have a great life. It's mindset, it's intention, and it's desire. And it's also guidance and support.
Okay, so this desire, this guidance and support, you're kind of packaging this all into this new product and the way you're branding yourself, which is helping other women find their desire and their support. And so what do you do for women?
What I do is get to the very bottom of what it is they truly desire. Now that their life is totally different, they're no longer married, so the person that they were when they walked down the aisle many years ago, they're no longer that person, and they really have to get that where are you now and what is it that you truly desire? Because you're no longer a part of a couple, you're now an individual, and the individual you are now is very different from the one you were years ago.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, because I'm married, and I think it's really important, and I could be wrong. Do you think that a lot of times women lose their individuality or their sense of self in a marriage and perhaps consider themselves to be this couple? And is this what you're saying? They need to reclaim this? Because I think that's so important. So how do you do that? Our first session, well, hopefully not our first session, but somebody's first session would be?
Someone's first session would be to focus on the difference between where they were and where they are now. It's really important to get the reality of your situation now and to let go of the past. And this doesn't happen in one session. This is a process, and it just doesn't happen, you know, like that. I'm divorced now 8 years, and after 16 years of marriage, you know, it takes something to let that go. But also, when you choose to get divorced, you have to really stay focused and keep in mind that you chose it and be empowered in your choice.
Okay, I like that, empowered in your choice. So we do have some bullet points that our producer's pulling up there, and let's talk about these. Susan, what do you think there?
So, acknowledge yourself for ending the relationship. Yes, you need to acknowledge yourself that this was a huge step. You are now choosing to end your marriage, and your life will never be the same. It's going to be different now. How different? How will that show up? You don't really know yet. So you've walked through the doorway. It's like being Alice in Wonderland. You've swallowed that pill, and now you've gone down the chute, and you're in a different room.
So we also have time to heal and reflect, right?
Yes. You do have to really take care of yourself. It's very important that you put yourself first in your marriage and with your family. Perhaps you've been nurturing your children, your husband. It's really important to focus on yourself now. If you do have children, I'm not saying put them aside. Of course, your children at this particular time do especially need their parents. But you have to pay attention to what's going on with you emotionally.
And speaking of your emotional awareness, you're dating. You've got to start dating again, right?
Well, dating is a choice, and many women tend to hold back from that and decide not to. Mostly it's an automatic shutdown, and they're not really aware of what they're choosing, and they've really gone inward and not allowed themselves to really be vulnerable again, is really what it's about.
All right, Susan, so we also have some more pointers. I like that you have all this kind of just bullet pointed out for all of our viewers. What's the next point here?
The most precious relationship you have is you. So it's really, don't turn yourself into a pretzel to be with a man. You know, you are a grown, mature, wise woman. You know who you are at this stage in your life. You want to honor who you are and take care of you, and realize that, you know, you are precious. You really are precious to yourself.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Susan.
Yeah.
You really are precious, and just keeping your individuality in check once something like this does happen. Well, now we're going to go ahead and, of course, toss this outside. But in the meantime, we can see here, you can always log on to WTNH.com for more information.